All right, what's up, guys? Yo, yo, yo. Actually, give me 1 second. All right. We're good to go. What's good? What's good, everybody? All right. Hope you guys were live with us during CPI. Not that we really did anything. Market was chilling. Big chilling. Well, we had a good moves, but nothing that would have triggered me anyways. What up? What up? Time to lock in. Pretty diverse playlist. There's multiple playlists. But yeah, I'm a huge David Bowie fan. Massive David Bowie fan. Led Zeppelin. Yeah. Buenos dias. What's up, everyone? Oil shakeout looking sus. I hadn't really confirmed an oil shakeout or anything. But I'll look at everything again. Looking at taking silver, but I think gold still being able to sweep London highs is going to keep me out. Okay. Morning, everyone else. And Q. Yep, took out the all-time highs. The CPI was on school. Yeah, it was on school. There was an alert there too. You should be getting notifications on there. But yeah, went live on school. You didn't really miss out on any executions. So not the biggest thing in the world. All right, let me get this thing set up here. All right, that's good there. And then this thing has been weird. All right, here we go. Get this moved around. All right, here we go. All right, let's dive into it. Right now, so to give a quick recap, right, we had CPI play out here about 45 minutes ago and clearing all-time highs for NQ, creating all-time highs for S&P 500, and then getting into what looks like could possibly be a shakeout for Dow. We see Dow take out Wednesday's liquidity, Tuesday's liquidity, and then playing all the way up into this level way over here during New York on Tuesday. So not quite at the all-time highs, but we trade into here. We get a huge drop, 150 points plus, and then we start creating some support here. So if you look at Dow specifically, what are those cans behind you? Yeah, it's like Naruto. There's a Goku one. I don't know. There's this like Japanese market nearby. They're like, what are these called even? I don't even know what they are. I can figure out. I think they're from like the animation studios though. They're pretty cool. So, holding up. What's up, Argentina? ¿Qué tal? So yeah, I mean this right now, clear liquidity. It's holding here pretty well. So I'm open to selling. If you look at, NQ is pushing up here first, faster. Like it's holding up the zone a little bit better, whereas Dow is, it worked its way down. It's chilling here. So not as aggressive on the come up. So I am open to shorts. I don't love it. I think I would have preferred maybe if it would have gone even lower. But yeah, I'm definitely open to selling. And then a stop, I think I'm looking more towards like a 70-point stop. So where we've seen resistance here before. So like this zone to me looks like a good area where the market could give us a reversal. Like right around here. So that you move up, we lose quite a bit of momentum, especially now that we saw S&P and NQ both clear all-time highs and clear a ton of liquidity. I think we have a good opportunity for reversals there. We might just be taking liquidity. I mean, we did take liquidity, for sure. Right, liquidity was taken across the board. So this is what we were. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for too. So, yeah. Now it's, if you look at, we can zoom out here with Dow. Dow, big picture. Like I talked about, this was more of a reaccumulation. And I said you have to consider the way in which it breaks these low. Like demand is just not being created here. So is this enough for Dow to push further back again and then continue its rally or not? So I'm open. I'm open to the idea. I'm going to approach this with less risk. So I'm not going to take a full R on this one. I'm going to trade this with half R because one, we're going counter trend, and two, could Dow want to create an all-time high as well? It's possible, but the thing is, and this also is why I'm open to selling, is that Dow was the first one to crack the all-time highs from early this month. So October 3rd, we saw all-time highs on Dow. And then on Tuesday, we saw it break above briefly before reversing when NQ did not do that. S&P did not do that. So it wasn't until today that NQ and S and ES ended up catching up in terms of taking out the all-time highs from last week. So since this kind of had a delayed effect, I could see this still playing out for Dow. So I like the shorts. I'm open to it. And then if we do get a good short, I want to kind of trade this towards New York, towards that CPI price action. So trading this down into these areas for like a 2.5 R. I'm cool with. And I'll take this with a bit less risk than usual. We might just be taking. There were tons of liquidity on there. Yeah, for sure. Like in that YM one. Cool. Perfect. So indices wise, this is what we're looking like. Crypto wise, we saw market give a nice move on up. Bitcoin dominance dropping. And then this is where we had more setups that were looking honestly solid, which is we saw everything just spiked up before dropping back down. So Australian took the highs, now losing momentum. Pound took the highs, didn't trigger me in, unfortunately, before now coming back down. We have, let's see, it was NZD that, in my opinion, had the clearest setup here. That's like looking super, super solid now. So NZD, we had the short from that would have, I don't know if anyone took this yesterday. We talked about the buys here, or the sells here. So sells gave a nice move down, 20, what was this? 20 pip drop, but the stops here were looking very small, 5-6 pips. So 3R, maybe more, depending on where you were taking this to. But anyways, besides the point, NZD takes out everything in sight. So insane move up and immediately loses all of that momentum. So clearly the market isn't bullish. It's not here to create higher highs. That's not the intention behind a move like this. So here now, compared to everything else, I mean, to me it looks like we're setting up for the textbook shakeout setup here. Clears an abundance of liquidity. The market now can start to set up for the typical break and retest. So here's where I think retail would get into profits. Not a trade I take, but typically I see this play out, every once in a while. So not a setup I'd take. And then I think this would bring in buyers again so that the market could then come crashing down. So looking for sells up in this range, which now I remember why I had this marked up. I drew this out here. Here's where I think we could see some shorts, like in this zone. So now that we had, sellers taken out of this, anyone in sells going back to October 7th, rip, RIP. So clean move. Now it's really a game of patience. So if we start to see this kind of work its way higher, then I'm definitely open to it. A lot of these ideas are now looking similar. So we'll just see. We'll see how price develops during this session. This might not even happen during today. This might happen tomorrow or Monday, maybe later on. But for now, that is my perspective, is I would want to short against these majors. If you're trading CFDs, then it's a little different with USD/JPY, USD CAD, USD CHF. But you get the point. Basically, my idea would be for this to eventually refill the imbalance and then get another huge sell-off. So I have an alert set here. We can publish a little idea here. So I'll explain this one. Do a little video. Record a video idea. Quick little recap. All right. So with this setup, as I mentioned, CPI gave us this huge pump up. This clears weeks worth of liquidity. I'm talking, 16, almost 17 days or so. And then this was followed by an absolute meltdown right afterwards. So clears up the intention that this is not to be created as a bullish trend. This is more a liquidation of sellers. This lures in buyers before everything comes back. So now my perspective would be for the market to maintain this for a bit at these levels down here, and then we'd get a pullback back into these key reversal prices. So basically above 0.58 to 0.5825, a short in here. And then, we can ride this out. I'd say at least to drop back into here again, if not further. But this is where the short would come into play. And then this would give us, I'd say, conservatively, a trade like here could provide, it's a bigger stop than I would like. But depending on how we work our way up, I think we get at least a 2R, if not more, because we are in a downtrend. But a 2R conservatively makes sense here. But yeah, we're in a downtrend. This is the 1 hour structure here. So for this to break through, a lot of this would not surprise me to get into this imbalance later on. So I'd say 2 to 4R potential. Play it based off of what makes sense to your plan, your trading accounts. But yeah, that's the breakdown. All right, yeah, so it looks like when I make the window smaller, this video looks significantly better. All right, sweet. So let's see. Once this is good, I'll be able to publish this there. All right, so let me actually longing gold. Cool. And if you guys have setups you want me to look at, you can go ahead and drop them in this post right there. What's up, Edgar? Gabriel? What's good, Seth? Peter's looking at gold. Sweet. Yeah, don't understand the trade, but I'm happy for you, and hopefully it's something that you can duplicate. All right, where is this thing? Is it here? All right, continue to publishing. Perfect. All right, so 6N, ZD, USD, sell, pending. CPI, blasted, NZD to clear weeks worth of liquidity. Clearly, there was no demand. There was little demand at those higher prices. And now we're setting up for a short. Watch video for more context. Okay. Here we go. Short. Okay. 6N. Now, let me ask you guys, would it be easier if I actually just posted this on my YouTube page and that way you can just get to it fast? Or would that just clutter the page in general? Y'all can let me know. For now, I'll just have them unlisted. I'll post them, but they'll just be unlisted. All right. Cool. So here is the link to the video. Today's setups, October 24, 2025. All right. Video breakdown. Okay, there's that. And then I'll give you guys the setup too. Now you have every single which way in which you can possibly consume this idea. Video, image, link, it's everywhere. Jim. Did Jim pop off or what? Blipped. Who is blipped? Give me the good news. Are we up on Jim? I'm still in there. What account is is this? Oh, damn. All right. Revival. Sweet. Love to see that. Beautiful. All right, so New York Open. We are seconds away. So we're starting to work our way up to here. Let's take a quick look at NQ, ES. Why would you do that? Why would you make this more confusing than it needed to be? Okay, so traded into above this, took out these highs, just short of where I wanted to get in, and we're already starting to see this come back down. Looks like NQ starting to pick up some momentum as well to the downside. Intel just cracked $40, guys. Officially 100% growth on Intel. Amazing. So let me go here now. And then let me switch this up because something got all messed up here. I'm not sure why. But okay. Here we go. All right, let's see. Cool. Yo, when I have my camera, is it usually full screen? Yeah, right? Whatever. All right. So, yeah, I mean, this is what I wanted, right? I wanted the short, wanted to get into it here. Now that we came back up into the imbalance and we're already dropping, I'm going to delete this idea. This looks to me like the money came in. You know, we got the move up here. The market drops. Okay, this is the consideration, right? If we were to come back up, is it still a valid trade? Is this still good? Does it make sense to take this? So if this were to come back up right now, we just took out these lows on Dow and Q. So if for whatever reason, because one of the things you always want to do as a trader is you have to consider every opportunity, every possibility. So if the market comes back up here, is it still worth shorting? Does the idea already, do we see an exchange of money here? And based around the fact that this dropped as soon as we had New York Open, I think that we already saw the exchange. This market came down, creates buying liquidity. This lures in buyers, price comes up right before New York Open, and then it tanks. So I'm not too interested in this anymore, just because we already saw the money come in after a drop. So these buyers that were lured in here with the break and retest, they more than likely get stopped out here. Or honestly, not really. I don't even think we really have too much liquidation here. A little bit, but if a break and retest is going to happen, the stops are going to be down here. This is really where a stop loss would be, or even lower. So, I'm going to wait either way for something completely new. But I am still open to sells. I just want I need a different setup now. We already saw the money, lure buyers in. This clears up at least some bit of liquidity here for stops that get put into place here. So it's cool. Remember though, we do have in 11 minutes, we have another batch of news. So we have PMI here. As long as this hasn't changed. Yeah. Fantastic. So we have PMI. That'll be a bit more volatility for us to work out in our favor here. and Michigan Consumer in 26. There you go. Oh, for those of you that, if you do own Naked Gym, if I'm not mistaken, they're migrating to the Bonk ecosystem. So if you do own it, there is some sort of migration process, and that would be, you can find that on X, on their Twitter. So yeah, so if you own any of those assets, I don't know if many of you do. That was like a extreme degen move. Then that's for you. But I don't think I even really talked about that too much, because it was like a 1 mil market cap type of play. Cool. So not doing anything here. The other setup that we have pending is this NQ buy. And this was CPI taking out the liquidity. So we had a clean little move here. Take that out. And the market rallies. So this is what I would want to see. Wouldn't want to really trade in here yet. We're in the middle of the range and we're in all-time highs. So obviously buying this high, there's two ways to look at it. You're buying at all-time highs, which typically is frowned upon. You know, the idea is, right, buy low, sell high. But in reality, more of the time it's buy low, sell right high. But sometimes it's just like you're still, even at highs, like if you have a setup, cool, take it. If it's a setup, like, because here's the other difference. The other side of the coin is price discovery. So we're in uncharted territory. Just because we're at all-time high within the last couple minutes doesn't mean that, now it needs to reverse. Sometimes, I mean, look at what happened with gold, right? Gold is a prime example of this. Gold is literally, like, so much money is lost here because people wanted to keep selling this thing. So, for example, here is gold making all-time highs in September. So gold makes all-time highs again on, was it September 2nd? And then the market proceeded to go, and it grew 23% from the all-time high that it broke. This went, let's see, not too far from what would be 20,000 pips. So yeah, the amount of shorts here, selling and 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 selling. I don't think it went too well for a lot of people. So at this point, that's just what you should consider. Consider the probability, the possibility that, okay, does the market want to just continue to rally? Is this just going to go into more price discovery? Do we just keep going on an absolute rampage here? It's possible. All right, Dow working its way all the way up to here. Meanwhile, NQ already cracking those highs. Okay. Could this be a short? Maybe. It's possible. You know what? S&P, though. S&P is interesting because it didn't break below this. Like Dow did and Q did. S&P didn't. So S&P stayed within this, and it's still within the range. Is this still a valid S&P shakeout trade? Honestly, maybe. Yeah. Because the whole idea with that trade idea, with like that type of entry model, is I'm not going to take anything, but it's that it clears liquidity. The market loses that. It shows that they don't really have demand up there. It builds up, a break and retest. So it lures in a typical buyer into the market, which it does here. It comes back to the lows. So let me just zoom out a little more. So we see the market come crashing back down to the previous high. That's where we came to right here. That lures in more buyers. And that brings us to where we're at right now. So honestly, I'm going to take a very small trade on ES, like a quarter of what I normally take. Yeah, I'm open to it. I think we could see a reversal out of here, specifically because we didn't see it because of what it's doing here. So I'm going to take a light little sell here and see what we can do here. Just a little one. Just a little guy. All right. Here we go. All right. So RR wise, this is a small play. Risking just like a quarter. And then from here, let's see, where did I get in? Right there. And then I'm going to take this just to clear these lows. So looking like about a 3.5 R. I might hold a little longer depending on how everything else is moving. We'll see. Cool. If this breaks these lows, I'll have an alert here. I'm in that. Obviously, you guys don't have to do what I do. You can do whatever you want. Oil holding up after the clearance of liquidity. You still liking the shakeout? Let's go take a look at it. Let's go find out. And remember, in 3 minutes, we have news. So either we get the next push down on ES or nothing happens. Okay, oil. So oil here did a good job clearing out this liquidity here. So let's mark this up. We saw a nice move here. Anyone in ES with me, or what did you guys end up deciding on? So oil was moving sideways throughout Thursday's New York session, Asian session, London session, and it wasn't until CPI, actually honestly after CPI, that it actually pushed down even more. Took out the highs, came down. Right now, we don't have any lower lows, so we haven't created a shift in structure. So this is not a mitigation trade. This setup here is based on the fact that it took out the highs, very in specific liquidity, not just, a couple minutes. It's like this took out not just Thursday's liquidity, but it also cleared what we were seeing last week. So there were sellers in the market here last week. And not only that, we took out some of the sells from 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So going into this, you have plenty of liquidity here. It looks like a very intentional move to the upside to eliminate retail sellers, lure in buyers. The market now is doing a great job of just maintaining this structure, kind of playing out of you got some more liquidity here. So it's kind of building up, break, trading into retracements. So I do think that we can get a sell in this zone on oil. Somewhere in here. I think you could see a short, and then it's a similar trading approach to S&P. And then S&P, the news we're going to get here in 40 seconds, so might trigger this. If you're interested in this type of idea, then my recommendation would be to set up your lot size or contract size now. See if it makes sense to you, which is what I'm doing right now. Let's see. Whoa. All right. All right. So what is it? News hit already? Okay. Indices wise, it's up here again. Let's see if it does our short or not. But yeah, here's the news coming in. And then cool if it takes me out. Totally cool. Very small risk for me. And then if it goes, awesome. Like it's either way, a 3.5 R at a 0.25% risk is really like taking home not even a 1 R. So that's all good there. Okay. So here is setting up for oil. Okay. So we got that there. All right. And then my entry for oil is going to be like right here. So I'll show you guys in the 1 minute. All right. So, yeah, like right over here. Here's the 1 minute too. Here's looks like the last pump is like right there. So, then we go from here. Okay. Intraday, this looks solid. Clearing this liquidity puts us at a 4R. Meanwhile, S&P approaching the highs up here. Let's see what Dow kept ripping. Cool. And Q holding it down. So we'll see. Whatever happens here. All right. And then oil honestly just needs like 20, 30 points or so to get over here. And then here's the alert that trade is active. So let's put that there. Message. Oil is active. Cool. All right. Okay, so looking at this, setting up my limit for oil still. S&P back at like entry basically, a little bit in profit. All right, cool. Sweet. All right, got some profits going. We like that. Can't be mad about that. How's it looking over here? All right. Okay. I'm setting up on my other account here. What we got going on? I'm still holding a buy on NQ from September 10th. It's lit. This thing is crazy. Jesus. And then I'm holding... Oh, no. Hold on. Oh, yeah. And then I have another one that I'm holding from... Oh, what date is this? September 25th. Wild. All right, let me just set up this oil on this other account, and then you will be good to go. Where is this thing? Here we go. Let's see. And oil at the moment still 25 pip points away, give or take. All right. Okay, cool. So meanwhile, S is moving in our favor, starting to crack this liquidity. At this point, reducing risk, I think, could make sense, especially if we start to get, if we can stay below here, then I'm definitely open to that. All right. Perfect. Now here's where we might get a reversal, right? You see how we kind of broke down and then ripped? This was the New York Open right here. So maybe there's a chance that this wants to reverse out of there. I'm not quite sure yet. And Q is also already here. So that's why right now I'm going to tighten my stop up, reduce my risk. I didn't have the best entry ever. It was good, but it wasn't world class. I wouldn't say it was world class. So I've reduced my risk to here now. So now my risk is like very, very, very tiny. And then actively running almost a 2R on this, 1.6-ish, 1.5. So I'm going to keep holding this. Yeah, very little risk on the table anyways, so I'm cool with that. Look at this. Came into, and this is more of NQ. NQ came right into here. Not surprised we get the reversal. But the thing is it going to hold this? Is this going to keep going, or is this just exchanging a sell to a buy to then just continue to work its way down? All right. Oil. Okay, so we can come back to oil. This will take a little bit of time. Okay. Gotta move this thing around here. Okay. So let's see. I don't think a lot of you went with me on ES, right? It moved fast. I didn't get it. Not in ES, but I would have taken it if I had the chart open. NQ already smacked me. MES on top step was already over the highs. Looks like ES is holding the line. Yeah, like I said, MES is MES with micro contracts. It's not as accurate, the data, so that's why I just go with ES. And then regarding that, I think it makes when you execute, you can still execute on MES, but yeah, that volatility does kind of get in the way, so it might not be the most beneficial thing. And this might not even this might not even turn into anything, so not a big deal. YM, I'm in YM. Why did you sell Dow? What did you see on Dow to sell it? You just wanted to trade it in this imbalance or something? In here? I don't necessarily understand the idea, but cool. So just imbalance, that's it? Interesting. Okay. So while oil sets up, let's go take a look at how our stock's doing today. Webull up 2% on the day, climbing back up here. The resurrection. All right, let's see. Winners on the day, Intel, right? Intel cracked the 40. Got it. Delta still cooking. Celsius still running. Nice. A lot of our holdings are up a pretty good amount today. Solar pumping 4% on ENPH. Shoals up 5. Yeah, so Solar doing its thing today. Alive and well. Coinbase. This we talked about yesterday. You can see Coinbase reversals out of here. So Coinbase up in the last 2 days. 10%. What else? Beyond up another 5. This is I'm not doing anything here, but this is just for communication. Lulu back at 180. Airbnb. Airbnb's up like what, 10% since this area? Nice. This happened quick too. Took like 2 weeks. All right. Cool. This little Weeble resurgence. Let's get after it. A little squeeze. Breakouts here. See if we get it. Hopefully it doesn't take another 5 months or anything. Would be ideal. All right. Yes, still holding it down in here. All right. See if that survives. Anyone already just going to go break even with this? I have a very small, like I think my stop, let's see, what would I lose here? My risk is down to 0.1% risk. That's what I would lose max on this trade. 0.1. So yeah, very much detached to the outcome of this, and then I still have some wiggle room if it wanted to drop from this like imbalance that we're in right now. It could. We shall see. Okay. So what does that mean for crypto? Has crypto continued to rally today? Virtual. So AI got a huge boost today. I forgot what I was looking at. But yeah, AI got a nice pump today in general. So AI-based coins got a nice move. Virtual specifically, I forgot what I read about it, but there was something that was announced that was like really bullish for AI coins. Give me a second. I can pull it up for you guys. What happened? The rally followed returning interest in AI agent projects as the X402 meta heats up. X402 is an open payment protocol by Coinbase that allows websites, APIs, and AI agents to make instant stablecoin payments over HTTP without accounts or intermediaries. So basically, an AI agent can make stablecoin payments. And Virtuals is basically an AI agent ecosystem. Cool. That makes sense then. Yeah. I mean, that helps the cause there. Sweet. All right. Let's see. What is Bitcoin looking like? Is Bitcoin trying to do a little move thing too? So Bitcoin failed to make lower lows on the 1 hour. As we saw it get to here, just failed to do it twice. So I do think we're going to continue onwards. Maybe we get, because obviously this huge move was a liquidity capture event as well, as then it dropped. So typically, if we wouldn't have broken these lows, I would have been looking for like a shakeout sell here, trading out of like, basically this is what captured liquidity, so selling somewhere in here. But since it failed to make a lower low, now we also know there's little demand over here. So then there's just clearly more of a desire for the market to go higher. So could you get short-term sells? Maybe. But since it failed to make these lower lows, I don't typically like to trade this anymore. If it wouldn't have and it would have kept liquidity, then I would have gone for it. But now that this has already swept it, and also we can tell that there isn't too much desire for it, then it's all good. All right. So let's go over here. Now what we have news again right now. Is that it? There's that. All right. So now we're at the hour at 9 a.m. Here's where we get volatility to pick up as well. So here, now you won't see it as a red folder. Depending on who is looking at this, actually not even interesting. This, the U of M consumer sentiment, these sometimes are orange folders, sometimes they're even red. Today it looks like it was supposed to be a pretty low impact event today. So, all right, cool. Do we have anything going on with metals and energy today either? That already happened. Nah, chilling. All right, cool. So that sets us up for this week. That's all we're going to see. And then moving forward, now next week, we have Australian news to kick things off, Australian CPI. So if you guys want to keep that in mind for Asian session. Then you get FOMC. Big week tomorrow. Probably get, not tomorrow, next week, next Wednesday. So more than likely, I think we see interest rates keep dropping. I wonder if they'll throw in PPI next week too, or if that's just going to be, oh, they already pushed it to November 4th. Okay. All right, never mind. I was wondering. Okay. So yeah, next week, FOMC week. That'll be fun. Sweet. All right, so we'll stay on the lookout for that. We have, let's see, oil creeping back up here as well. Okay. Slowly grinding it back up. All right. And then someone mentioned something about silver. I'm not sure what people are looking for silver. Nah, I don't really see anything here that I would want to take. There's a little bit of a move up here, and then it drops, but like this is very minimal. Not taking a ton of liquidity or anything. All right, so that's chill. Honestly, if anything, gold takes a bigger swing at this, but borderline makes equal highs, so worth taking. That'll be up to you. Am I going to take it? I'm good. I'm cool. All right, so not much else really to see here. I'll do one quick rundown through majors again. The dollar news here that we just got pushed things down for that. For, Swiss aggressive drop, but then it just pulled right back up. NZD still holding it down really well. Same thing goes with basically everything else. CAD futures actually continuing to drop even more. So we might see a nice short with CAD to add on to NZD. Pound as well. So, yeah, possible sells against the majors. I don't know if it'll happen today, but maybe next week. Yeah. Something that I'm going to be working on here is just considering the macroeconomics with what we're having just added, I guess, new things that are happening behind the scenes are, one, Trump's affiliation with Binance. Two, so I'll talk about this here briefly. and then we'll wrap up. This will be a shorter session today. But the affiliation we've seen with Trump and CZ. So there's definitely back end things going on with Binance and World Liberty. So that's happening. And then we have more movement with Trump and Argentina regarding meat. So, okay, what can that get us opportunities in other marketplaces? So like, can that give us opportunity with certain stocks, cattle? What could we be trading something different? And then we saw Trump and Venezuela are starting to go in on it. So I'm going to be looking at different sectors, see if we can take advantage of things on the macro side, like a big picture. Is there something that we can, we can make the most out of? So that's what I'm looking at right now. Obviously, that'll take a little bit of a research, but I'm always down. So if anything I come up with, I'll let you guys know, and we'll go from there. But yeah, thanks guys. Great sessions. I think we had a great time this week. Now, honestly, like couple like 2.2 Rs, 2.5s, 1.5s. Definitely some losses this week. After my journal, I'll have to check. I might be up like 1 R or something. So pretty average week. But at the end of the day, if you're able to keep your cool or minimize your mistakes, like that's a sign of growth. So keep putting your focus on what's the quality of your decision making, what's the quality of how you're following your processes. That is worth much more. Because if you can survive like an average week or two of trading, then you're allowing yourself to get into good trading, to get into a good swing of things. So that's my take. That's my perspective. And hopefully, you guys are able to keep doing things well. And so if you're here, if you like the session, click the like button, make sure you're subscribed. And then, we have a few things here for you guys coming out. So for example, I have a newsletter that's going to drop on Monday for you guys. So you guys will get that right before we start the stream on Monday. So you guys will have that as well. If you are in the school, then you'll probably see it in there. But if you prefer to kind of just have that in your email, and if you want to kind of have a base to look at, then you can check it out here. Or if you want to look at all my newsletters in one place, then that's where it is there. So you guys can get that there if that's what you're into. Now, if you're here on the stream, but you're not in our free community, then you can go ahead and scan the code on the left. That'll hook you up. That'll get you in there. Tons of resources that you can go through, enough for you to really honestly get into a winning position as a trader. And then, of course, if you're looking to get more hands-on coaching, then the code on the right. Scan that if you want to just learn more about it. It's obviously you don't have to commit to anything right away. So scan that, learn more about it, see if it's for you, if it makes sense. There's a video that breaks it all down if you scan there. And then that way you'll have a good idea of what that 1-year program looks like. So, that's really it. And shout out to everyone in the last week. We did run a promotion last week, and we had about 5 or 6 people that did join the syndicate as well. So much love to everybody. Take advantage of all the resources we have here. I'm going to do an upload today into the vault. So you guys will see that. Highly in demand video course that I did a few years back. That's going to be available to you guys. So take care, y'all. Appreciate you, and I'll catch you on Monday. Peace.